Yesterday, Horace and I met with a little accident, and as a result of that, Horace took on some minor scratches, nothing significant, just some scratches on the crash bar, and above all, we also had a broken brake lever. So I guess in this episode of Horace the CB500X, we will learn about how to fit or replace brake levers. So, first thing first, before one can install the brake levers onto the bike, one has to purchase a brake lever, right? So off I went to a local motorcycle superstore and got myself one of them brake levers. Relatively inexpensive, coming across at just $14.99 Aussie dollars. It was an absolute bargain. So first of all, a bit of disclaimer. When opening this product, it does read that it should be correctly installed by a suitable qualified motorcycle mechanic in accordance with your vehicle factory specifications. So I don't necessarily condone installing brake levers on your own, but hey, if you feel confident about doing it, then go about it at your own risk. Overall, it's just a brake lever made out of soft aluminium, I suppose. That's why my original brake levers broke, right? Nothing fancy. It's not the sporty type. But for now, I guess it serves its purpose in terms of getting Horace back on the road again. All in all, getting the brake levers replaced was a relatively easy task. We're talking probably about 15 minutes of your times, and that is using some pretty basic tools, by the way. There are two nuts, one at the top, one at the bottom. In order to remove the brake lever, you first need to loosen up both the nuts. And once you've removed the nut, you can actually pull the screw out off from the top, and the lever should come off relatively easily. After that, it's really just a case of replacing the brake lever with the new one and tighten up the nuts, both at the top and the bottom again, and that should be pretty much it. One thing to note, however, the brake levers are actually connected to two things. The first of which is this little button that when you squeeze, it actually triggers a on-off switch type button, and that basically activates your brake lights. The other one is a little knob that actually, when squeezed, pushes against the brake, sort of like a button that basically pushes pressure onto the brakes to activate them. So you really need to make sure both of these are triggering when you squeeze the brakes in or when installing them. Otherwise, it is going to be an accident waiting to happen. And once you've got the brake levers installed, naturally, you would want to give it a bit of a test before you take it out on the road. So take it slow. Give it a bit of a ride and squeeze your brake levers gently to make sure that they are working. And of course, you want to make sure that your brake lights are working. So go ahead, give it a bit of a squeeze and make sure that your brake lights are actually switched on when you squeeze on the brake levers. And here's a quick view of the broken brake lever. Now, looking back at it in hindsight, I did wish that I didn't get the cheap brake levers. I really miss the little gauge that adjusts the distance of the brake levers. But ho-hum, I guess that's what is required to get Horace back on the road for now. Maybe in the longer term, I might look at replacing the brake levers as well as the clutch levers as well. So stay tuned, guys, until our next episode of Horace the CB500X.